The following program is brought to you by Naleo TV, the People's Platform.
I'm with Jennifer Zelko with Hawaiian Electric. She also happens to be on our board of directors for Naleo TV. Thank you, Jen, for all of your service. Here at the Civil Defense Disaster Preparedness Fair, Hawaiian Electric has a very engaging booth. Can you talk a little bit about the high voltage display that you have and then other resources you've brought to help communities prepare for emergencies?
So today at the fair, we've got the high voltage display, which is always a highlight. The kids especially love it, but it's really about power line safety, and it shows why you wouldn't want to get near down power lines because you don't know whether they are energized or not. And so we're loving all of the questions we're getting, and we show a hot dog getting shocked and vegetation as well.
Jen, and you also have an emergency preparedness booklet here. Tell us a little bit about it. What's contained and how can folks get their hands on it if they're not at the fair today?
Okay, awesome. The great news is our handbook for emergency preparedness is available online and in various languages. There's also a much shorter version, a summary really of the checklist of things you need if you're preparing for an emergency, if there is an outage, if you need to leave your home. It contains a lot of great information, even about food safety, if you had an extended outage.
Got it. Can you say a little bit about what folks should do in order to prepare for disruptions in energy power outages in the event that does happen?
Sure. The number one thing is we say you have to pack or you have to have prepared a kit. Things like batteries, medication, not just for your family, but for your pets, bottled water, other just important things, paperwork that you might need in case you need to leave very quickly. So we always talk about a go bag, what you would put in your go bag. So again, batteries, water, food, anything you might need if you're going to be leaving the house very quickly.
What are some things folks can do to prepare their home to be safe? I know that a lot of folks, say in the Puna and Ka'u region, are surrounded by albizia. So what are some tips that you have for households to ensure that their home is safe ahead of the next disaster?
Sure. It's so important to make sure you are doing vegetation management. It's one of the biggest hazards we have here on Hawaii Island. You mentioned the albizia trees in the Puna area. So really keeping your driveway around your home, around your neighbors' homes as well, making sure you are actively cutting back vegetation.
And I just want to give you guys a quick shout out. You folks have been instrumental in doing an updated version of Hawaii County's albizia management plan, where you've brought together state and county partners to start prioritizing where are these areas that we need to start mitigating things like albizia, just so that we are prepared for the impacts of future events. So thank you for doing that. The last question that I had for you was, say there is an event like an azelle or an eruption, and there's obviously going to be some disruptions to electric service, electric transmission. What are some ways in which the utility helps to manage and prioritize repairs?
Sure. So the first thing, if there is a disaster, a lot of people ask, well, what are the steps? How come my home, we don't have power yet? We always take the safety of our employees and our community is number one. And so that's number one. Second is assessing damage. Where is the damage? We have to look at our transmission lines and substations first before we start moving to where the distribution lines, where the power comes to your home. And then, of course, the full restoration of the circuit. So there is a prioritizing from those transmission lines that bring the power from the plants and solar farms and the wind farms. We always take care of those first.
You folks have excellent communications going out. If folks want more information, they can see you online, social media, website. What are your handles?
Absolutely. So it's www.hawaiianelectric.com. Lots of information about safety. Again, the handbook for emergency preparedness is on there. Lots of tips about making sure you unplug your appliances, turning off light switches, things like that.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jen. We really appreciate you
so
and everyone
much.
at Hawaiian Electric.
Thank you.